You can search here on YouTube or Google, and you'll quickly learn that there are lists like 20 scales you need to know to play jazz.
The 16 scales you need to know.
What I'm getting at is, it's overwhelming, right? Well, today I'm going to show you that you can get so much mileage out of just 4 notes. You can improvise jazz with 4 notes and get all the important sounds, but with more economy. Stick around, because I'm going to show you how. Okay, this is going to be really cool. I'm really excited to show you this today. Yes, you can play jazz with just 4 notes. The 4 notes will be derived from 2 scales. Major pentatonic, which is root 2, 3, 5, 6, and Dorian pentatonic, which is root 2, flat 3, 5, 6. We're going to use the first 4 notes for each scale. The root, the second, the third, and the 5th for each. See where I'm going with this? Let's use a major 7 chord to show you what I mean. The most obvious choice is using the 4 notes from major pentatonic with the same root. Now, it's not my favorite choice, but it does work. Since it's not the whole scale, it's often referred to as a cell. The coolest thing about this whole thing is that there's only 1 note different between the 2 cells. You're just changing the third. It makes getting these under your fingers quickly, and you can start making music right away. They work as great in modal settings as it does playing hard bop. And you will suddenly catapult your playing into hip modern sounds. So from here on in, let's differentiate the 2 cells as major cell and minor cell. There are so many ways to use these 2 cells in jazz. Let's dig in. Let's take the same structure that we used in the first example, a major cell on a major 7 off the 5th of the chord this time. This is a more colorful option since it doesn't contain the root. It's a little less Pollyanna. You can also play it off the 9th of a major 7 chord, and what you get is some great tension to add different colors. You get the 9th, the sharp 11, and the 13th. All the hip notes, man. You jank. Lastly, you can play it off the 3rd of a major 7 chord to get a more tense modern sound. Since it has the G sharp in it, it implies major 7 sharp 5. And of course, it works over a major 7 sharp 5, should you encounter one.
I said, what?
Now, let's look at the 4-note minor cell. You can play a minor cell off the 13th of a major 7 chord, and that will give you a little bit better option than playing the major cell off the root. At least you get the 13th. Now, if you play a minor cell off the 3rd, it will give you a Lydian sound. That cell includes the sharp 11. This idea makes a cool ending lick. So far, we've only talked about one chord type. I hope you're starting to see that there are a vast amount of uses, and we're just getting started. I know the thumbnail and the title of this video seemed almost too good to be true, but the reason why I think this cell system is so powerful is because without trying too hard, your lines immediately sound more interesting than thinking in 7 or 8 note scales. You usually get all the hip notes, and you get more interesting intervallic leaps in your lines.
Now that is cool, man. You dig?
Now let's move on to dominant 7 chords and its variants. You can use the exact same major cell as in the very first example on the major 7 chord, off of the root. I won't play it to save some time in this video. I'm sure you can see how it would work, so check that one off the list. Also, like the major 7 chord, you can play a major cell off the 9th, and you will get the 9th, of course, the sharp 11, and the 13th. This is nearly identical to the lick I played earlier. And also like the major 7, we can play a minor cell off the 5th. You get a resulting 9th each time. You can also play a minor cell off the root of the minor 7 chord. I'm using that cell over both the G minor 7 and the C9. No fuss, no muss. What about altered 7ths, you say? Well, of course you can do that too. The major cell to play is off the flat 5, or the sharp 11 if you prefer to think that way instead. You get the flat 5, the sharp 5, and the flat 9. You can also use chromatic notes. You don't have to stick strictly to the 4 notes. By adding chromatics, it can even make it more interesting. The minor cell to play is off the flat 9. You get the flat 9, the sharp 9, and the sharp 5. You can play a minor cell off of the 5th of the minor chord. So in this case, I'm using a D minor cell over the G minor 7, and simply sliding down a half step to play the C sharp cell over the C7 alt chord. Isn't this the coolest? You know what else is cool? Hitting that subscribe button below. Both of the last examples are really effective ways to add tension. And if you remember, in this video, I discussed that that is what we always are looking for, is causing tension and then a release. Now, let's check out minor 7 chords. You can play a major cell off the 3rd, the 7th, and the 11th to get a Dorian sound. Let's use a modal vamp to show you all 3. I've already covered this, but as a reminder, play a minor cell off the root and it will give you a generic minor sound that you can play on almost any minor. And like in example 10, I used a minor cell off the 5th, and that gets you a Dorian sound. Now let's have a look at minor 7 flat 5 chords. When it comes to minor 7 flat 5 chords, the only major cell that I know of that you can play on a minor 7 flat 5 is off the flat 13th. There isn't a whole lot of notes that spell out the minor 7 flat 5, but it does work, and it does kind of have a cool sound if you want to have a little bit more ambiguity. Ambiguousness? ambiguous sound. All right, you get the drift. If you play a minor cell off the third of a minor 7 flat 5, you get an awesome minor 7 flat 5 sound with just 4 notes. You can create great sounds by just playing 4 notes, 4 notes, 4 notes. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful. Do you have any ideas on topics that you'd like me to cover? Let me know in the comments as well. I really love hearing from everyone, so don't be shy, leave a comment. See you back here soon. Don't forget to practice.
You dig?